All right, this is part two. Go ahead, Doug.
Okay, yes, we were just beginning to talk about dimensions. Okay, um, now you're going to get hit by a lot of people. They're going to say, "What?" um, you know, discern it for yourself. But I think once you start opening your mind up to, you know, science fiction, not science fiction, but science nonfiction, um, then I think the whole thing is going to read a little differently for you. And we'll go into a couple of those things here as we progress through Revelation. Now, just to kind of go through real quick a recap. Yeah, we've already talked a little bit about the churches. And I strongly urge anyone, uh, to do some investigating in that area. You should spend a lot of time in the churches. There are 7 churches, and they are past, present, and future. They are basically the position for every Christian on earth. So at some place, some person, doesn't matter who it is, they're going to fit into one of these 7 categories. So the next thing is, of course, Philadelphia. Uh, she's a bride church. If you look real closely, you'll find that that she has a pillar, that she is a metaphor for also the New Jerusalem. Uh, Now, this is just one of the areas that you can do some searches for, because you're going to find her in a couple of places, one prior to the millennium, um, and another one at the end of millennium. Uh, and so there's some very key things about the Philadelphia bride, and of course you can go all over the Bible just by typing a search term. Try typing bridegroom. Okay. Now Yeshua, he wears different hats. When he's in bridegroom mode, he'll tell you, and he tells you in the Word. And where you see the bridegroom, you will probably, no doubt, see what's going on with the bride and where she's at. It's all over the Old Testament and the New Testament. So again, do those searches. It's so darn important. And if you want to know about the bride, that's it. And then read again the whole Bible. But Paul especially talks a lot about the Holy Spirit and how important that is. Uh, and the Bible is very straightforward on this. If you're not born again in the Holy Spirit, you're not the bride. If a person is continuing to sin and the bride's taken out of here, I'm sorry. It's very straightforward. But these people that are still sinning are going to go into tribulation. Now, it doesn't mean that they're lost, that they're going to hell. There are people out there that teach that. And whenever I hear it, it just makes me cringe. No, that's what tribulation is about. It's about burning silver in the fire 7 times so that is polished crystal clean like gold. Okay, and that's it. And we don't know what season other people are going to be in. My gosh, um, we can try and we can talk to them. We can talk to family members, but if they're not willing to accept, there's really I don't know what else we can do. Um, and so, the importance is just get out there and keep talking to people. Keep telling them it's about the Holy Spirit. There, the tribulation is going to be an awful, awful time period. The first 3.5 years will be terrible. the last 3.5 years will be beyond imagination. It will just be the whole thing is going to be a nightmare for anyone who enters into it. Okay, so again, we've talked about the bride. The bride's the 24 elders. It says right there in Revelation 5. The crystal sea is the bride, spirit of, and she's also, I mean, the spirit of the bride is in heaven. And this is the calmness. It's a crystal sea. It's beautiful and it's perfect and it's calm. And then when you see the different things through tribulation, as a matter of fact, throughout the whole Bible, read into it, because there's dual meanings, triple meanings, quadruple meanings behind one chapter or several verses. The roaring waves, okay, that the prostitute sits on, that you read in Revelation, that's unsettled spirits. There's no truth. It's a lie, and it's unsettled. And so also at the end of tribulation, you'll find something else happens, and that's the tribulation saints are found in heaven, and they're standing on a glass sea mingled with fire. And what that is telling you is that the tribulation saints went through the fire of tribulation. Their heads were cut off, or something happened. Whatever it was, they died of martyrdom and so forth, and they're in heaven. And again, the symbolism behind that is similar to the bride, except she's crystal, and this is a glass sea mingled with fire. And so that's just to give you some ideas. I also believe that, you remember in the midnight watch, the fourth watch, where Yeshua walked on the sea, and the storm was just going crazy, and the waves were moving, and the disciples were to meet him on the other side. They were in the boat. They were frightened. They were scared. And Yeshua walked across the rough seas on the water, and he came up to the boat. Well, think about this, okay? Well, first of all, it's in the watch period that was not one of the Jewish watches that were done, that Yahweh had them set up. They had 3 watches. Well, this one was a fourth watch. Well, that fourth watch was brought on by the Romans, and they're the ones that created the fourth watch, not Yahweh, but Yahweh steps into it and uses that. And then once again, you see he's standing on roaring waves, but what does he do with his power? He calms the ocean, okay? He settles their spirits, and he settles the ocean. So it's really another piece of symbolism. And if we go into the fourth watch at the end of Revelation, that just so happens to be, in my opinion, the tares and the wheat, where the tares are taken to hell and the wheat is taken into the new millennium. Now, if you want to put those pieces together, just read about the world church Thyatira, okay? And she is told in Revelation 2 to the church of Thyatira that that those that did not worship evil or do the things of the